This episode of the Empty Netters podcast is brought to you by the crisp, refreshing taste of LABATT Blue Light. We've talked to you guys about LABATT Blue Light all season long because it is a no-brainer and it is our lock beer for hockey and for life. You know why? Because every single bottle, can, and pint of LABATT Blue Light is brewed with Canadian kindness. And there is no kindness on the planet that can match Canadian kindness. If you're sitting around watching the game, hanging with a group of friends at the bars, or just kicking back by yourself at the end of a hard day's work and you just need that nice taste of a delicious beer, LABATT Blue Light is the best option and the only answer. Empty Netters is on board with it. You should be too. Grab a LABATT Blue Light today.
On this episode of the Empty Netters podcast, the champs are done.
Oh no, it looks like it's Groundhog Day in Toronto. Leafs lose in Game 7 to the Boston Bruins.
And we got the coaching carousel firing again. A lot of new jobs open this summer.
Round 2 is here, and we're hitting you with all of our predictions, seeing who's headed to the conference finals. The ice is ready, and we are back with another much-anticipated episode of the Empty Netters podcast. I am buzzing. I am also nice and relieved because the Boston Bruins took care of business against Toronto. I don't want to jump the gun, but did that feel good, or did that feel good?
Man, everyone that follows the page, I'm sure, saw when I ranted after Game 6, I think it was. But I truly meant every word of that. It just, once the bees went up so big, I was like, you can't lose now.
Can't lose.
So
Cannot.
To have that game go to OT, I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. We can't score a goal again. To the point there, for the first time in a long time, I am completely in gravy mode now with the Bruins. Usually the deeper you get, you kind of start to believe. You're like, oh, dude, I don't know. I remember the year we beat Vancouver. I was like, well, they're way better than us. We can't win the cup. But then you get in it and you're like, we could, though. We could. I don't
believe that you felt that way once they got to the cup. There's no chance.
Once we got there, probably not. But I remember saying to people before in the East round of it, I was like, Vancouver's way better than us.
Sure, but once you're on a heater like that,
Yeah.
like this is what I'm here to say to you: that Boston Bruins team wins one game against Florida, and you're like this. They can beat them.
Yeah,
That'll happen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're gonna hate everyone on that Panthers team. It's how it goes. Man, we talked about how we're in it now. We're in the
Yep.
We are buzzing. The playoffs are going on. We've already had one game of round 2. We've got more tonight. Craziness has ensued. It was Derby Day and Cinco de Mayo this weekend.
Yeah.
We both got buckled way more than we probably should have.
Ooh.
Lots of craziness going on. We're headed to Arizona this week for work, and then we've got a bachelor party as well as all of these games. We might not survive.
I might miss the rest of the playoffs this year.
You're going to be on LTIR?
6 feet under.
That's as LTIR as it gets.
Yeah.
But that's long term.
Yeah, long term. Permanent term, dude.
But this is just unbelievable, man. It's been a wild run. We've got too much to get into, so should we just rip into No Buckie Warmup?
Absolutely.
No Buckie Warmup. Top 5 stories going on in the league right now. Hit us with number 5.
Number 5. The draft lottery drawing is tomorrow. Well, you're going to be listening to this. It's Tuesday night. It's tomorrow night for us right now. It's tonight for when you're listening.
Yeah.
Last year, it was the most rigged thing I've ever seen outside of pro wrestling.
I just wish Bettman would admit it.
The graphics, remember, the graphics are coming up too early. Everybody knows what picks are. It was a clown show.
Oh, dude, they're literally we're watching it on TV, and what happened? It was like Columbus, Anaheim, and Chicago.
Yeah,
were left, and they showed the graphic of like. I think they showed.
I think they said out loud something like, because who was the last two? Chicago and Anaheim. I think they said something like, well, it's down to Chicago and Anaheim out loud before Columbus had happened.
And a graphic did pop up.
And then the Chicago graphic popped up. A star popped up next to the Blackhawks well before they pulled the ball.
Well, then it went to commercial.
And I was like...
It's like, what?
Still,
listen, if Bettman just admitted it, I'd respect it. I'd be like, yeah, rig it all day.
So what would have to happen tonight, Tuesday night, for you to be sure this one's rigged too? Utah?
Listen, That would be crazy. The fact that they're pretty high up. So we got San Jose at 18.5% chance of getting the first overall pick. Chicago Blackhawks at 13.5. Anaheim Ducks at 11.5. Columbus Blue Jackets at 9.5. Montreal Canadiens at 8.5. And Utah 7.5. If Utah gets the first round pick, aka Macklin Celebrini, I would love it. I would think that is awesome. It would be very, very cool. I'm all in on Team Utah as long as they go with Mammoth or Yeti. I think either one.
And not the Ice.
Can you believe it? Ice, Venom, Utah hockey team, just absolutely insane. I will think it's rigged. I think San Jose is going to get it. I think with the ties to Greer, with the ties to the San Jose Sharks organization that Celebrini has, it makes a lot of sense for him to go there. Will Smith's there. Colin Graff just got signed by them. Cool future for a team that's very much in the gutter right now. They just fired their coach. Craziness. If Chicago gets it, and we're going Taves Kane all over again in Chicago, and if they give them back-to-back number ones, which hasn't happened since Edmonton, right?
I think so.
I will think something's a little fishy, but then again, 13.5 to 18.5, like that wouldn't be that crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be that crazy. If Utah gets it or if Montreal gets it. And I'll tell you what, dude. I would cream my knickers.
If Montreal gets it?
If Montreal gets it. I just think seeing the Montreal Canadiens selecting first in the draft in the Vegas sphere to get Canadian boy Macklin Celebrini to play with Goal Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Slavkovsky, like that would be sick. But then again, they did just have the first with Slav.
Right.
And also Slav looks like the real deal.
No.
Yes, he does.
He looks way better than he originally appeared.
I think he is coming into his own. He's grown into that big body.
Yeah. Who do you want to get at, Teeps?
I'm going Chicago.
That's who you want, or that's who you think?
That's who I want.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Chicago for me. I mean, that's the most electric
it is.
out of all of them, I would say.
And wouldn't you say it would be, you think about San Jose and, you know, they're struggling. They don't have a lot of great players. They're trading off all their assets. Don't have a coach right now, but Will Smith's an amazing player. Like I said, Graff is pretty cool. If they got Celebrini, it'd be like, okay, like Sharks got something working here. There is something about Chicago, original 6 teams, probably best tarps in the league, a wonderful U.S. city. No offense, San Jose, but like Chicago is pretty legit. And if you all of a sudden have Bedard and Celebrini, that turns into a, like we talk about Mitch Marner, that might become a team where some of these guys who are getting traded would be like this, oh no, I will go there.
Agree
that
completely.
Could be a Patrick Kane going home situation too. That would be like they have Celebrini and Bedard now. I'll resign there for 2 years and see what's up. Go back home like a conquering hero.
The one I think is being slept on a little bit, and it's third highest, so it's very possible. 11.5% is the Ducks. Ooh. Because they have Troy Terry, Zegras, McTavish, Cutter. Like if they Leo.
I was like,
and then you add Celebrini. I'm like, dude, the Ducks
and you're forgetting my boy Minchikov, dude.
Yeah,
they got Zellweger too. They've got. Did you say Frank? Like
Frank, but he's just not. I was just kind of giving the really
like,
young guys.
They're, I mean, like fucking A, man. They got some talent.
That's what I'm saying. Like that team, all of a sudden is. I'm going like, oh, the Ducks are winning 2 cups in 5 years. You know, like if you load them up with Celebrini too.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other names that might go after that. But anyway, should be a really interesting one.
No doubt. I would love fireworks, and I hate to say that because Sharks fans listening to this right now are like, fuck off.
Yeah.
No, we don't need fireworks. We need the first overall pick.
Yep.
And I do feel that way. I especially feel for teams like, I mean, Columbus. I don't feel that. What were they, number 2, I think? Because it was Ducks 1.
In this?
No, last year.
Oh.
It was like Ducks 1, Columbus 2.
Yeah.
And then I think Chicago was like 4th.
Yep.
Maybe they were 3rd.
I think they were 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel bad for the Ducks. I feel bad for Columbus. It feels like they never get the first overall pick. So when you are the Sharks right now, you're like this, no. This is our pick.
Yeah.
So I feel you, but, like, it would just be sick if all of a sudden the lottery was like, and the first overall pick is Detroit.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yes, let's go. But craziness, can't wait to see it.
Yep. Number 4 topic we want to hit. Big news is there's going to be some coach openings, and we already got a few things. We missed this because of it came happen after our last record, but Hacksaw has been let go by the Kraken, and apparently several players made some comments being
unhappy,
not pleased. We had the chance to meet Coach at the Winter Classic,
Yep.
and he was extremely nice and runs a tight ship. It did feel that way.
Yeah.
This is a pretty obvious comment, but I'd be interested to see if so many people were unhappy had they been better this year. Winning cures a lot, right?
Absolutely. I think it's clear where I stand on coaches these days. I hate the old man recycle. Yep. I look at New York, an example. LaBaTT just gets another job, and then look at how incredibly well it's gone. There's a part of me that's like, I'm not so sure that is that much of LaBaTT as it is that insanely good roster.
Yep.
And yes, he gave good chances, better chances than Gallant did to some of the young guys. So that's a clear difference. But I am such a believer in new blood, and I can't believe how often the old boys club just rotates. Like, here's this 58-year-old coach, 68-year-old coach. We're just going to give them another shot. Let just keep cycling. When there's so many of these great college coaches that I'm like, what are we doing here? Like AHL coaches too.
Yeah.
Give them a shot. I was shocked by the Hackstall firing.
Yeah.
Last year, it's your second year in the league. You beat the defending Stanley Cup champions. They're spunking everywhere. It was such a fun season. This year, they weren't that bad. They backslid a bit. Mm-hmm. And a lot of competition in the West, in the playoffs.
Teams ready for you more than they were.
Yep.
Not sneaking up on anyone.
And they don't make it into the playoffs, and he's fired. It just felt to me like and listen, I don't know what was said. I don't know what's going on in that locker room. It might have been a loss to the locker room situation. Maybe the guys are like, we don't like playing for this guy. It's a tough look that Vince Dunn was hurt for as long as he was. Your star defenseman. Matty Beniers has a sophomore slump. That's not great. And I do look at the coach in situations like that. I'm like, why is this happening to Matty? But there's just a lot of factors that I feel like I would have given him one more year, just see what happens next season. If you start out poorly, fire him then. But it must have been, or maybe it was a situation of, season or things were said from players, people in the organization that were like, this isn't the way forward.
In my opinion, no way he gets canned if if the players hadn't said something. And what I mean by that is this isn't just the record thing. Like they missed the playoffs this year, they slid back, but I'm still like, yeah, whatever. Well, not the best year, but we'll figure it out. But I think what was said really made the decision.
Yeah, the Seattle Kraken don't feel to me like a team that's like, if we don't make playoffs, the coach is fired immediately. That just feels a little aggressive.
Next, another piece of this coach thing is Rick Bowness. Bones is going to call it a career at the end of this season.
Yeah.
I saw this when I was reading about it. There's a beautiful article on ESPN, or maybe it's actually NHL.com. Everyone should go look at it. But he was a player in the league, whatever, and then he became he was a player coach with the Jets AHL affiliate in 82-83, which is epic.
Electric.
Okay, and that sent him down a path that led him to spending an NHL record 2,726 games behind a bench as either a head coach or an assistant. I'm not sure I would have guessed that it was Bones if you asked me that trivia question.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because it's not the record for most time as a head coach.
Yeah,
it's the record for most time behind the bench, which is in a way cooler to me.
Yeah,
like to me, it's like kind of an under the radar stat. And then also electric that he's been in it. He's been in the game one way or another.
Oh my God.
For this long time.
The last kind of run here for him has been so interesting because he gets bumped up to head coach in Dallas when Monty left, right? Takes the Stars to the final in the bubble. Then the Jets hire him last year, and then this year they have one of the best, I think possibly most wins in their franchise history. I can't remember, but just unbelievable rip for him there. Obviously, he missed time to spend some time with his wife after she had a seizure. He missed some time for a medical procedure of his own. I'm just sure, or it feels like to me, there's just stuff going on in his life that are more important than hockey. But
totally,
every single comment in this article or anywhere you look, people are like, one of the nicest human beings of all time. So I wish him truly all the best.
Yeah.
Sorry you ran into the buzzsaw that was the F.
We'll get into this more, but in addition to that, so we've got Seattle, we've got Bowness here in Winnipeg, and then we'll get into this deeper, but I'm assuming Sheldon Keefe is going to be out in Toronto. So, in my opinion, 3 pretty coveted job openings.
Yeah.
Regardless of missing the playoffs, I think that Seattle job is an attractive job.
Agree.
Great city, cool team, good sports market,
Massive
fan
fans,
base. Like, I think people are going to want that job. The
Spunk
Toronto
job,
job. Toronto job is
That's
home,
that's the worst job in sports.
but that's also home of the highest coaching contract in NHL history.
Yeah.
Babcock's contract back in the day. So like they pay their coaches. It's going to be wild to see how these 3 slots get filled here.
Yep.
And I hope we get some new names.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's going to be like Berube and
Biz chirping him on
fucking
on the panel.
Quinn is going to get hired. That'd be kind of cool if Quinn went up to Seattle.
Seattle. I was just thinking that.
Easy
Well,
pop.
it's easy.
Easy pop.
Easy pop.
Easy pop right up.
Easy pop.
So keep the eye on the coaching carousel because some of those are going to get filled right up. Number 3 story. What is going on in net in Vancouver?
And even more so, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about hockey injuries. So it seemed like Demko was going to be out easily through round 2. And then there was an article today that said Demko is out officially for game 1, but could return this series.
Yeah.
And then they're talking and we're going to get into this in a second, but in our previews, but I don't even, you want Demko there, but Shelov's just been so awesome that you're maybe watching one of these backup goalie gets hot situations. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I want to say this. I'm reading this article with Talk, and I'm like, is Demko going to play? And he's like, well, it's one of those things where you could feel a ton better one day later. So, he's out for game 1, and we're hoping. And I'm just like, is he going to play, dude? And I wanted your guys' take on the whole NHL injury thing. Because it's like tales all the time when a team gets eliminated. They're
Totally.
like, Steven Stamkos had 10 broken ribs, and everybody has torn rotator cuff and hip labrum surgery.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of sick that you're like, God, these guys are such beasts. But I'm like, what is going on, dude? What happened to Matthews? What happened to Demko? Like, I need answers, I think.
I love that it's one of those very unique things to the NHL. I love it how guys pick up knocks and sometimes they don't miss any games at all. And then you find out, Patrice Bergeron had a punctured lung for multiple games. So,
she had a broken. She was like, I can't even. I can't close my hand.
Pretty badass Stone. Mark Stone broke his wrist or something last year, hand or wrist last year.
Couldn't lift the cup.
Like right before the cup, and then he's holding the cup up with it. Unbelievable. So I do love that. It's a very classically badass hockey thing. When guys are missing games and they still don't say it, I don't hate it when they come back because I agree. Don't give that information out.
Yeah.
If someone's got a knee thing or like a hammy thing and you then say that, oh yeah, they're dealing with a strained hamstring. And then they come back a couple games later, I'm not entirely sure guys aren't going to give them a nice little whack to the hammy or something like that. So I like hiding it for that reason. I do hate it when someone's out indefinitely.
Yeah.
And they just keep teasing it like, oh, maybe he'll play. Maybe he'll play. Maybe he'll play. And then they never do. That is a situation where I'm like, I hope they're saying to the players in the locker room, like, hey, Teep is done. He's shut down. We're going to tell the media,
Dude, I was just thinking
whatever, but like letting you guys know he's done. I just don't like the lack of certainty for the team. Mm-hmm. That shit would drive me nuts. So right now, if Demko is maybe going to play, and I'm hearing all this, and what I'm hearing from the coaches, what I'm hearing from Talk, if I'm on that team, if what I'm hearing from Talk in the media is what I'm also getting in the locker room, I think that's annoying as fuck. Because I am like, who the fuck is playing? Yeah. I want to know.
Right.
I want to know. Because if it's the Latvian Spider, then I want to know that that's my guy moving forward, especially as a defenseman. And again, it might not be that simple. It might be a situation where we know Demko is we heard and we tweeted out that it sounds like he's played his last game of the season. That's what we heard. He's dealing with a very intense injury. Demko is an insane competitor in the best way. He wants to play, and he'll do everything on earth to get back into that lineup, and I fucking love that about him. But there's a chance that it just might be too much. And if they know one way or the other, you gotta fucking tell the boys. That's my only thing.
I actually now am thinking this is bad news for the Canucks because since everything's a mind game, if I'm the Canucks and he is getting really close to playing, I'd keep going like this. Yeah, he's in rough shape. Indefinite return. Get the Oilers sleeping on, okay, we're preparing for Shelob, the spider.
Yeah.
And then, dude, Bang, Demko game 2 in your fucking eyeball. Okay? So the fact that talk's out here being like this could be any day now. He's getting better. That means he's actually just trying to get the Oilers to think about Demko when it's actually Shelob because Demko's leg has been amputated and no one knows yet. So this is actually horrible news for the Canucks.
So Canucks game 6 win 1-0.
Yeah.
1-0. The game before that. And do we know how many games Shelob has played now?
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
I do exactly how many games. He's 3 games, he's 2-1.
It's 2-1,
with
right?
a 9-3-8 and a 1-7-0.
So it was
Like a sicko.
Nashville. He plays that
That's
first
a rip,
game.
no notes, by the way. Anyone watching on YouTube, that was a stat
was
rip, no notes that I
very
just
good.
happened to know.
Very good. So first game he plays, they win in OT 4-3. Then the next game they lose 2-1, and then he wins 1-0. If you are the AHL third backup, Latvian spider, coming out of fucking nowhere, crawling out of a cave once you've finished wrapping up Frodo like a burrito to now start in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and your fucking asshole team is scoring you 1 goal in 2 of those 3 games, I'm like, dude.
You're all fired. I'm going to eat all of you now.
Guys.
I'm going to wrap up Lindholm.
What the fuck?
Actually, no,
Like,
he's okay. I'm going to wrap up Pedersen.
I can't believe how crazy this run has been for him, winning those games when they're just not scoring. And like this kid pitches a shutout in an elimination game when he's a third backup. I would be looking at those boys being like, how have you not rallied around me being like, no matter what, we just got to pump in goals for this kid.
Yeah.
But instead they're like, this dude, I'm sorry, you need to have a shutout if we want to win today. That is
Bonkers.
fucking crazy.
Bonkers.
So Canucks, get your shit together and start popping in goals for the kid, for fuck's sake.
Demko's dead. Never play again.
If Shelovs wins game 1 and Demko is good to go game 2, who do you start?
Shelob.
You have to,
100%.
right?
100%.
Kid's hot.
No hezzy. No
Kid's
hezzy.
hot as hell.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, story number 2. Hit me.
Down goes Vegas. Down goes Vegas. I got a stat for you boys. Not a stat. It's a observation.
Teep, were you surprised
At what?
that Vegas lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, like you mean
Yes.
at all, or you mean go specifically Game 7?
In general, I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
Me too.
I wasn't paying attention to that series. I came back to it. I could not believe it was Game 7. Then further couldn't believe that they lost.
Yeah.
I
Thought they
won't
were
lie.
a wagon.
Yeah, I won't lie. When they went up 2-0 on the road, I thought to myself, oh, dear God, Dallas is dead.
Yo, I thought it was a
But
sweep.
it's what we talked about pre-series. I was like, it's now or never for Dallas. They can't play this like, oh, we're not quite ready anymore card.
Yeah.
And damn, did they answer that bell.
This is a cup
they,
season.
They went back, tied it up, and I was like, oh, shit, we got a series. And then here we go, dude. That was fucking awesome.
This is a cup season. Okay. 2020, the Bolts won the cup.
Yep.
And then they won it again. So the defending champs
back-to-back.
won it again. And then 2021, the Bolts won the cup, and then they went again.
Yes, and lost to the
Okay.
Avs.
Every other champ from 2018 on has lost in the first round.
So we should have known.
We should
Should have known. It was always the chalk.
But it did feel like Vegas was going to repeat.
It did. Because they do feel different.
Okay, so here's what I have to say about this series. Hell of a series. Pretty much everything we could have asked for as hockey fans when you see that matchup, which call it unfair if you want, but Vegas was the 8 seed, like I've said a million times, even if you went 1-8, so whatever. But 7 games, 4 straight road wins, OTs, like just really, really awesome series. Good cold ending on both ends. A huge tip my cap to Otter. You're the guy. I always knew it.
Had a massive game. Had a massive game.
Really cool to see in the handshake line. I'm sure you guys saw this. Mic'd up a
Petro
ton of the
DeBoer?
boys. Yeah, Petro specifically was like, my wife said she hopes you win it. But like a ton of the boys, DeBoer's being like, miss you, buddy, like to a lot of his boys.
It
And
was
like,
cool to see
yeah.
that the players really loved DeBoer.
Yep. So I think, if Vegas was going to go out, I'm sure they obviously don't want to lose, but I'm like, that's probably a team that they respect a lot that they can go down to.
Absolutely. I think they went through that series too, and they're like, this team's the real deal.
Yep. Cool to see Dallas make adjustments. We talked about that a ton where they're just like, dude, Vegas owns you guys. They know your system. Figure it out. They made adjustments. That was awesome. The one thing I thought was weird about this is there are some comments from Cassidy and Stoner, but Cassidy specifically, that was lamenting that the team, he's like, we didn't have enough time together. Stoner was out so much, Hurdle was out so much. Like these guys, he's like, that's a lot of surgeries for these boys. Like they were really only gelling. They only got to play together in the playoffs. And that's true. I'm sure that's a true sentence. Like I'm sure if they had been playing together from February on, they'd be even better.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, bro, you can't complain about the cap manipulation thing that you're. The only reason they weren't playing is because you guys were not stashing. They were hurt, but like.
Okay, that's
like,
my. I'm gonna combat that because he means practice too.
Yeah.
Like these guys did get surgeries and got cleared to skate a week before play.
Right.
So it's like everyone who bitches, I'm like, they were fucking hurt, man.
Yep.
They were. So that's what he's talking about. Yes, it is like you reap what you sow, sir.
Yeah.
Like there was when you made that trade for Hurdle, you knew he wasn't going to be skating for a while. So, yeah, I hear you there.
I'll live 1,000 years and never understand what the expression "have your cake and eat it too" means. But this is what this is what that sounds like to me. I'm like, hey, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Why would you buy a cake and not eat it?
What are we talking about?
I don't get it.
I will eat it.
Like,
And why is that something that I shouldn't be? Why is that a luxury I shouldn't be allowed to have? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it. And I'm like, that's where we're drawing the line.
yeah, I stand with you in that I don't get why are you having cake
Yeah.
if you're not going to eat it?
But it seems.
What do you do with cake if you don't eat it?
Yeah, feed it to the dog.
It's crazy.
It seems to me though that having all those players is cake, and then being able to play together the whole time
To play those players
is
would be
also eating it. And you can't. Cassidy, unfortunately,
You can't do
you
that.
can't do that. So Vegas out, Dallas.
You didn't make the expression. We don't make the.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. So find a dog and feed him the cake.
Yeah.
So this is
Have
bullshit.
the dog eat the cake.
So yeah, Dallas. I mean, they got another fucking tilt now.
They sure did.
But which we'll get into in a second. But that must have felt great for them.
Yeah, damn right.
Must have felt absolutely
and it's tough because I truly, truly do love Vegas.
Yeah, God.
I've had so much fun in that city, so much fun with those fans, very real fans. I kind of got mad at a lot of the old school fans who, when Vegas won, were trying to give fans shit like, you didn't fucking earn this. I'm like, dude, they were there right there watching every single game just like you did.
Yep.
I don't give a shit if the team's only 6 years old. I think Vegas has been a blast. That Barnes electric. Love so many of the boys on that team. It is cool not to see. It's not cool to see Vegas out. It's cool to see different teams in, if
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yep.
I like seeing new teams in the second round. I like seeing, a different mix of like, it's cool that a new team is going to win the cup.
Yep. All right. The number one news story. It happened again.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have lost in Game 7 to the Boston Bruins.
Now, we got Teeps here in the building. I want to say...
Known Toronto boy, known Maple Leafs fan.
I want to say up front to Teeps, to Red, to Blakey, to a lot of our
Nick,
boys.
to our boy Nicky.
Nicky, Nixon, Selman. A lot of my boys are really upset right now. And I'm sorry about that.
Biz.
Because this just went about as bad as... Or is that true? Like, would you have rather... I'm going to turn it over to
Would you have rather
Teeps.
been swept? Would you have rather lost in 5?
Damn.
Right? Because I don't think
Yeah,
it's
maybe
like-
not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's really tough.
I think I would have.
You'd rather get swept?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. But this felt so Leafs that it was almost like beautiful in a way. It was like watching a burning, plane. You're like, it's gonna crash eventually.
So as a not... it's fucking amazing. As a non-Leafs fan, we obviously got on the story and we beaked Biz.
Yep.
Because we love Biz. After that, I immediately got on the story and I was like, I don't think this is a dancing on grave situation. I gave a ton of shout outs and a lot of respect to that Leafs team because while that was brutal, I imagine, and again, I'm not a fan, so I don't know how that felt. Dude, making that go to 7 after being down 3-1 and playing in Boston
Showed
was
a lot of fight.
impressive to me.
Yep.
I thought that was really impressive. You didn't have Marner, you didn't have Matthews, you didn't have Nylander for multiple games in that series. You're going back and forth with your goaltending, and you force that to overtime of Game 7. I don't think there's a lot to feel that embarrassed by. It sucks that you lost in the first round again. It sucks that you lost to Boston in Game 7 again, absolutely. But that I did not feel was a whimpering performance.
Yeah.
Given the people that were out, given the circumstances, it does suck that you went 1 for fucking 14 on the power play or whatever. And there's a lot of things that don't look great. Marner didn't have a great series. I get it. But I do think that there are worse ways. I think
And losing in 5 would have been whimpering.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think losing in 5 would have been worse.
Yep.
I think a sweep would have been worse.
Teeps, what do you want?
The
Like,
Leafs, they don't do the whimpering though, Dan. That's the thing. Like they lost to Montreal, right, in the first round the one year. Was that recent?
Yeah, I think so.
Or
Oh,
was it
yeah, it was. That was the
Columbus?
bubble year, dude. That was the bubble year. 100%. They lost to the Habs. Yeah.
They lost to the Habs. They lost
Yep.
to the Columbus Blue Jackets, I believe, as well. Those years felt like whimpering. This was classic Leafs.
Yeah.
This was battle the whole way. They really and even at the end of two, I was like, you know what? Like I think this is it. I think they brought me back in.
Yeah.
At the end of the second period on Game 7, I was like, yeah, I got a great feeling about this. And it was just so classic that, you know,
What'd you think when Willie scored?
I mean,
You're like, that's game, right?
yeah, I mean, I was like, damn, they're actually going to do this. But I will say last year, too, we got that feeling of, holy shit, they actually did it.
Yeah.
So this year, I mean, it was more about Boston this year rather than like the whole first
yeah.
round thing. You know, it was more like, yeah, it was more of that built up history between the Bruins.
Yeah.
And it's so we got past round 1 last year, but now we still can't get past the Bruins. So I mean, I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah.
Dude,
What do you
you're
want?
you're so right, too. I think maybe the most classic Leafs thing about that game was scoring
Yeah,
in the
first.
third period and then in less than a minute giving up a goal. Like, you guys got 55 seconds to feel like we did it.
Yep.
We beat them. And then Lindholm scores. And you're like, what?
That
the
was
fuck?
because I was 100%. I was with you. I was with you. When that Willie scored, I was
Yeah.
like, done. 100%. We have
Yes.
lost.
And I will say, obviously, hindsight's easy to say this. I think that Bruins team knew if they didn't score quick, it was over.
Yeah.
Like, not that Hampus is this big goal scorer that's like, I'm going to put the team on my back. But you could feel the energy in there. It's like they scored that goal, and the Bruins team was like, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Like, we could not let that sit and
That
get
let
tense.
fester.
Yeah.
Do you want Keefe gone?
I think he'll be the fall guy. I think he's probably gone. I mean, he's not like. It's been 5 years. It feels like his time is up.
Yeah.
I would say.
Shanny too.
Shanny, I think that is what I read today. Was that I think they want to take away that overarching voice of God from the organization.
So my inside sources is that Shanny is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that is like the first axe to be swung. That's like, we need to change that. And then I just would imagine whoever gets that job is going to be like, Keefe has to go. Like, you can't fire your GM, what's Shanny, the president?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't fire your GM last year, then your president this year, and be like this. Keefe will continue to stay.
Keefe's been
though.
doing it.
Like, that's just not it, dude.
Yeah.
And then what about the boys? Like if they straight up roll back in next year, Matthews, Willie, Tavares, and Marner, are you like, fuck yeah?
I mean,
Don't say I mean.
I think
this
you
is
could,
the
though.
definition of insanity. I said this
Yeah.
yesterday to somebody. The definition of insanity is
Doing
the
the
same
same thing.
thing over and over and over again, expecting different results.
Right.
That is literally what's happening with the Leafs score for. If you don't do something, listen, if you try and Marner goes, you know what? No, I'm not going to waive my clause. I want to play this last year. Okay, at least you tried. But you have to try. Because this is the thing that drives me nuts. I think Marner's an incredible player.
Me too.
I think he has been great for the Leafs. He obviously has not been great in the playoffs. There is a situation where Marner does much better in the playoffs somewhere else. We've seen it happen. We saw it happen with Phil Kessel. And I just think you need to realize that regardless of the no move and what you said to me earlier, that if they go, Marner, give us a few teams, and then you start talking to those teams, that team's going to know that Marner is open to it, so you might try to fuck the Leafs
You lose
over.
some leverage. Yep.
What I said is his cap hit is too large for a team to be like this, oh yeah, we'll give you pennies. Like, you literally have to give up something of substance.
Yep.
And the Leafs aren't going to accept like oh yeah, we'll take, like a bad contract back.
Yeah.
They're going to want a good player back, something of substance back. And I just think you have to look at it as you're losing Marner if it's Marner to go, but there's a chance you're getting something great back. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Well, you could be getting a lot of good players back if you take in consideration his cap hit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like you deal one, you get something back, but you gain so much more flexibility.
In the middle there, right, where you guys maybe need more help.
And I don't think that I'm going on record. I don't even want to put this in the ether because Detroit fans, I love you, and this will never happen. But like, let's say Mo Sider is up for a new contract. Let's say they go, "Hey, Mo, you're going to sign at 8x8 or something. We're flipping you for Marner."
Right.
You're telling me if you're Toronto and you go, "Oh, we got Mo Sider, a player of Mo Sider's caliber for Marner," that you're not happy.
Yeah, right.
Give me a break. So I think you have to be open to it.
The Leafs going 3-1 with one of Willie and Matthews out in that series.
Bad.
And 0-3 with all four of them in.
Very bad luck.
Is fucking unacceptable.
Very bad luck.
And I think Biz said this, but like in the power play, that they're all on the ice. It's literally all of them on the ice at once. 1 for 14 or whatever the fuck they were. That's what scares me because I am insane. I am kind of like, bring them back, dude. They're all nasty. But I am like, oh man, the data is just not there, I don't think.
Yeah, it really isn't. There's a couple of things that I want to touch on from this. Number one, huge shout out to your boy, Brad Marchand, for that post-game interview. That was the pettiest thing I've ever seen in my life. For those who don't know, he goes, right on the ice after winning, gets asked a question about how they battled through to win that game, and the first thing out of his mouth was just belief. A very clear leaf, too.
Yeah.
Biz has been doing his little hashtag #BeLeaf, and Marshy just throws that in everyone's face. Like, that is this. If that's not Brad Marchand summed
Perfect.
up and is shit talking, I don't know what is. And then I want to come to my boy Marner's defense. The three of us were talking about this earlier. He has been getting sewered online for his effort on the pasta goal.
Yeah.
So has Riley. First of all, that was an amazing play.
Yep.
That's home ice, home boards, plays that the Bruins have done in the past, plays that Pasta has done in the past. That was the Torrey Krug, David Pastrnak special.
Yeah.
Come in, don't even reach the red line, bank it off the end boards, Pasta gets in past the D, forehand, backhand, goal. Great pass by Lindholm, great read by Pasta. He even does, he was like, hey, it's there. So clearly that wasn't on, like they know that play is there. So well executed by them. I'm not going to sewer Marner or Riley because it's like that's a bang play, perfectly executed by the other team. Unfortunately, it's a goal. I fucking love William Nylander so much. I'm looking right at you, Willie. You are my boy. I absolutely love you. If there's someone we're going to give shit on that Leafs team for their effort or appeared effort.
Yeah, because he couldn't have done anything, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I just find it funny that Leafs fans are like, fucking Marner. Look at this bum. Look at that effort on the ice. Willie might as well have a shopping cart.
He looked like old Ovi. Remember those old Ovi clips of him just like gliding around in
moseying on through the zone. Willie is standing straight up and down with his stick on his pants.
It was perfect.
Just gliding through the zone. And people are like, this fucking Marner.
And the after is the best. Like Pasta has scored and everyone's going insane and Willie's just still like catatonically gliding.
It looks like someone playing Chell and their controller stopped working.
Yeah,
like their controller disconnected and he's just, because that puck goes in and he just continues to glide. He doesn't. He's not like fuck me. He doesn't slam his. He's just like God damn it. Just keeps gliding around. It's unbelievable.
What happened to Joe Wall, dude?
I mean, he killed himself on that last trying to stop a goal with 0.1 seconds.
Geeky killed him, dude. Geeky actually killed him. I didn't realize. I said on the rant, Geeky's goal didn't count. In fact, it did count.
And it killed the goalie.
It killed Wall, and then that's how the Bees won.
So before we move on, my last question for you is: how do you feel about net moving forward? Do you think Wall is the guy? And
no, bro. No one is the answer. They need to get a bona fide number one goalie.
Yep.
Please, for the love of God,
completely
address it. These guys are getting hurt. Get a new trainer. Get someone who understands the human anatomy to not let the goalies get hurt. Like, please.
I think you're right. On the Hockey Talk yesterday, someone asked, like, what is a Marner trade? And I've been saying this for months. Saros for Marner, straight up, is like, or, there's probably add-ins there, but like those two, I'm like, that's it. And so I said that, and a bunch of Leafs fans were in the DMs, and they're like, dude, Wall's the guy. And I was like, no, I'm not sure he is, dude. Listen, I don't know. And I just think it would be pretty irresponsible to go into a next season and go like that, like let Sammy walk and you go, Wall is our day one starter. When he's
Crazy.
not played more than 30 games. Like, I don't even know how many he played. but, like,
Crazy.
it just feels scary to be like this. Wall is the answer. No doubt about it. Crazy stuff. All right, it's time to strap on those buckets and head into our Bauer Hockey Hot Ice, baby.
Before we get into the Bauer Hockey Hot Ice, I got to talk to you guys about Bauer Hockey Training. If you are anything like me, and if you're listening to this pod, I'm sure you are trying to get better at hockey. I don't care if you're already the biggest stud on your junior team or if you're just learning in a rec league. Going to Bauer.com/training is going to be your go-to destination for all the best tools. They got the digital reactor dangle. If you're working on those towies, work on a couple backhand towies even. They got the reactor slide board. If you're trying to get your skating better, strengthen that stride. Both of these tools and many more are taking your game to places you never thought they would go. And on top of that, if you use promo code EMPTY, that's EMPTY, you get free shipping. How about that? So again, Bauer.com/training. Go there now. And this week, that means we're doing second round preview predictions, chopping it up in the lab.
Canes in 4.
Can we actually, I didn't even write this down to do, but I just want to think about it. We both said Dallas in 7?
I believe so.
Check. I said Oilers in 5. Check. You said Kings in 7, and I respect you for it.
I had to do it for content's sake.
You said Canucks in 6. Check.
Yep.
I said Preds in 6.
Yep.
Wrong. And then what's the other West Coast? Oh,
you
I
said
said Avs
Avs
in
in
7.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought you were close than that.
No.
And then I said Jets in 7.
Yep. So I got the Avs. You said Bruins in 7.
Yep.
Check. I said Bruins in 5, which should have hit.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
True.
I said Rags in 4. Check.
Yep.
You said Rags in 6.
I think I said 5 or 6.
I think we both had Canes in 5.
We did.
Check. And then what's the other East one? Oh,
I had
Panthers.
Panthers in 6.
I had Panthers in 7.
Yeah.
So we hit Panthers. So not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
Not too bad.
Here we go, round 2.
Starting in the Atlantic, Florida Panthers versus the Boston Bruins. Are you ready?
I am very ready.
3.
We're going. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Panthers in 6. 7.
Yeah, I
almost said 5.
I feel like I gotta.
7.
I think this is gonna be
They just
more of a battle.
Dick slapped the Lightning.
I know, but
What are you talking about?
I think this is gonna be more of a battle. I do.
Well, what's interesting is regular season, Dan, another, and I say another because they did this to Toronto.
Yep.
Bruins won 3-1, Bruins won 4-3, Bruins won 3-2 in OT. That was pretty late in the year one, too. That was playoff
Season
hockey.
sweep.
Remember that game?
Season sweep.
Season sweep. Is the revenge thing a factor?
Absolutely not. I really don't think it is. I don't think it is for a lot of reasons. There's a ton of turnaround on this Boston Bruins team. Tons of turnaround.
Yeah.
Obviously, the core guys are still there, like Marshy, like McAvoy, like Hampus, Coyle, Zaka, then big ones, Swayman, Olmark. Obviously, they're still there. But like that team just felt so much like it was Bergeron and Krejci's team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Hall, Foligno, like just a lot of guys no longer there. So
Bert.
I do think. Did I not say?
Oh,
Bergeron
maybe you
and
did.
Krejci?
No, Bertuzzi.
Oh, Bert. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
I only brought him up because him and Hall I thought were the two best players last
Bert,
year.
No
Yeah.
question, was the best player. But yeah, no. I mean, I think it's something that they know about, but it's not the first round. It's second round. They both have played different teams. They've gone through playoff battles here already. I think this is just a totally new situation, a totally new series. The revenge thing, I don't think is going to play a big part here. People will talk about it on the broadcast. I don't think it's going to be much in the locker room. I think this is just both of them are looking, this is a great team we're playing. Let's lock down and play here. I think this is going to go deeper than maybe we would have said before because of the adversity Boston went through. I think Swayman has a big juice of confidence, even more so than he
hammer
normally does.
of confidence.
And I just think Swayman steals you games here. I know there was a lot of talk about, that series. It became clear after game 3 that it was Swayman's job. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of people who were like, Olmark will play again, and he should. I just feel like you got to I mean, I don't know if we've seen it yet. I imagine it's come out, but like Swayman is starting tonight.
I actually was one of the people that said Ullmark will play again, and now unless Swayman gets fucking lit the fuck up for the first 2 games of the series,
Yeah, or
then I'm like,
if
okay,
he
yeah,
gets-
give him a rest.
He gets tired, but like he's not that guy. Like he just loves it. He wants to play. So I'm like, you got to play this kid. So I think he steals games for you. And obviously, season series, not the same thing. It's not playoffs, but these are 2 good teams playing against each other. Boston won all 3. I don't think you can rule out the Bruins so easily in this.
I just think that's why I took 6 instead of I damn near picked a sweep. That's why I took 6 because of Sway. I think if the Bees are going to win this series, and this is something we talked about earlier. Charlie Coyle made a comment after the game. He was like, "Good, I'm ready to play again tonight."
Yeah, he was like, "I love it." Let's go.
And so it's obviously he's going to say that. He's not going to go, "Damn, I really wish we had rest. I'm pretty tired." Like, he's obviously going to be like, "Let's fucking rip it." But I'm sure the Panthers are also very comfortable resting and not picking up any more knocks.
Yeah.
The only thing I think the rest can actually possibly fuck someone up is goalie, because Bob has been so lit, and I'm like, I think he probably might have rather have just been seeing pucks
For sure.
game speed pucks. If the Bruins were to win this series, I think Swayman like literally needs 3 shutouts. And
Yeah. I agree. I don't even think, obviously, that would do it.
yeah.
But I think Swayman's going to play great no matter what. If the Bruins win this series, or if the Bruins want to win this series, they need at least 3 guys to go unconscious.
We can't score
and
right
I
now.
don't, and I don't
Yeah.
mean one of the goalies.
Yeah.
I mean Pasta, Marshy, honestly McAvoy, but then probably a surprise guy like a
Zaka,
DeBrusk,
Coyle,
like a
yeah.
Zaka, Coyle, a Geeky. They need someone in that forward group to have a Bertuzzi season series last year.
Yeah.
They need them to have a Matthew Tkachuk, a Carter Verhaeghe series. And that's what it's going to take for them. And if that doesn't happen, if they're kind of scoring and playing at the same clip that they played in Series 1, this is going to go Florida's way.
Yeah. Okay. Next series.
Next series.
The New York Rangers versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready. Hold on. Okay. Yep. Got it. I just changed my answer like 3 times after I said got it.
Nice.
3, 2, 1.
Rangers
Rags
in
in 7.
5.
Wow, 5.
Yep. Think it's over.
Wow.
I think it's over.
That's the money talking, bro. That's the
money
money.
talking.
That's the money talking.
I'm counting my money already. Obviously, we have the benefit of watching a Game 1 win in Madison Square Garden. 4-3. Canes made it interesting there at the end. Here's what I said, dude. If you are the fucking Carolina Hurricanes and you want to even sniff the asshole of possibly winning this series, you cannot give up goals and hope that you're going to scramble back at the end. Not against this fucking team. And what do? They take stupid fucking penalties. They give New York power play. New York scoring on the power play in 10 fucking seconds.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just like that. You are not going to claw back against this team. And our big fear was, does Freddie come down to earth? And in my opinion, he came down to earth immediately in that game. There were some good goals by the Rangers, but not showstoppers. If for me, I thought the power play goal with the behind-the-back pass from Trocheck, then behind-the-back pass from Kreider to Mika was fucking sick.
Nasty.
But other than that, it was just good hockey goals. And Freddie, you can't be letting in 4 goals in Game 1 and expect this to be a team that you're going to be like this. Yeah, I'll be able to kind of scratch my way through this. Absolutely not. So obviously it's at home. It was, again, it wasn't that crazy. It was close, 4-3, but I don't know. I just think New York they're too good.
They split season. Rags won twice, I think. Yeah, they won 2-1 at home. Canes won 6-1 in New York. Rags won 1-0 in Carolina. March 12th, that was a sick game. That kind of decided the Met. The special teams, you're spot on. The Canes, we wrote this down last time. Canes, number 2 power play in the league, number 1 PK in the league. Unbelievable special teams from Carolina all year. Rags, 3-3 in both. So also fantastic. Coming into this playoff game, Dan. Okay, so before Game 1.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, of the playoff teams, the Rags had the number 3 power play and the number 3 PK, just like they were 3 in the regular season. Canes, number 6 power play, number 10 PK, and then their PK gave up 2-on-2 last night, and their power play went 0-for-5 last night. Mm-hmm. So that you cannot be getting hammered in the special teams battle.
Yeah.
If you're going to win this series, you need to win special teams and neutralize goalies. right? They are currently through one game, but getting hammered in special teams, and the goalies don't really feel neutralized.
Yeah.
I feel like New York is the big advantage there. I wrote a couple things that I thought are really interesting. One, you look at Jordan Stahl for me in that 2C role. He was a -14 this year for probably like the 5th time in his career. He's consistently been a plus player, and he's not giving you much in point production.
Nope.
But he did have his best season ever at the dot. So that, he's doing things out there, except being -14. But they are so consistently going to be matched up with that Laffy, Bread, Trocheck line. And I'm like, this is your job. If you can slow that line down, you have a chance. If he can't, if he's a -14 in this series, then fucking good day, dude. You get nothing.
Yeah.
So he's out. Obviously, you get the Crides. They only score on the power play. You try to see what you can get from that line if you're New York. What will be fascinating to me is the New York Rangers have been losing in the playoffs this year for 3 minutes and 21 seconds or something. So, and I don't even, as much as a testament of how good the Rangers are playing, I actually think that is a place of vulnerability because they haven't had any hardship yet. If the Canes can just jump on them a few times, I'm like, let's see how this Rangers team reacts. And the reason they've been trailing for so little time is because the few times the Caps did score, the Rangers scored like immediately.
Yes.
It's literally, I can't remember if it's actually 3:21, but it's like single digit minutes.
It is very, very minimal amount of time.
And dude, so, and the Canes have obviously been trailing for whole games, because they have those massive comebacks against the Islanders. So that will be really telling for me. Can you put them in a tough spot? Go take a 2-goal lead against the Rangers. See what happens.
Yeah, to me, it's can they answer? And I think that's both in-game and in-series. Yeah. I think Game 2 is of monumental importance to this Carolina Hurricanes team because this Rangers team, to me, is very sharky in that I think they smell blood. And if you go up 2-0 and you're the Rangers and you continue on this fucking winning heater and you go, we have literally not lost in these playoffs yet, I think you knock them the fuck out. I think you go into Carolina and you go, we are 6-0 in the playoffs. We've been all over you already. We're going to kill you now. And I don't think Carolina is going to respond to that well. So I think, like you said, you got to jump on them early. You've got to respond. I think a ton of that is right now. You need to win Game 2. And I hate to say that because
I don't
look like that in Vegas and Dallas where like, oh my God, Vegas is up. It's over. And then bang, it's tied 2-2. So that could easily happen if New York goes up 2-0. But I'm just saying this Rangers team, I think, I'll say again, they smell blood. And if you get up 2-0, I don't think Carolina can recover from that. So I think Game 2 is so huge for them, and they've got to find a way to win. You've got to find a way to win on their ice. You've got to find a way to make them know you're not invincible.
That's right. What I was about
you
to say.
can lose, and you got to do that fucking early, dude. Because the more of a cushion you give them, a loss means nothing to New York. They're like this, whatever, dude.
Yep.
We'll clap you next.
No, they're so confident right now that if you keep, the more it builds, is another log on the fire, and the hotter the fire gets, and it's going to burn us all down, baby.
You've got to show a team that you can bleed, and if you don't do that early, you're fucked. So, figure it out.
Moving to the West.
Yeah, okay, we've got Dallas, Colorado. Crazy. So, Avs won 6-3, 5-4 in OT, 5-1, and then the Stars won 7-4. Lots of goals.
And that one was late, by the way. That was like one of the last games of the year.
Last matchup of the season for them too. Avs obviously have the advantage, and the big sign in that one is they score a lot. Even in the losses.
Yep.
5 goals, 5 goals, 5
goals,
thing. 4 goals.
Let's do the thing.
Yeah, let's do the thing.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. Stars in 7. Oh, this one's gonna be a bloodbath.
Game 7.
I got Stars in 7. Game 7 in Dallas. They win 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so keep going.
Similar to the narrative of round 1, the Avalanche score a lot.
Yep.
5 goals, 5 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, even in the loss. The big factor here, as it is with every fucking series, but Dallas in particular, Otter's been great.
Yeah.
And if Otter can be that great against this team and somehow slow down that scoring, they've got a real shot. They've got a real shot.
Well, it does feel like the shot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to win in a shootout. Not that they can't. They put 7 past them. And Vegas, the Vegas goalies touched the sun at times this year, but I don't think that they were playing so awesome in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's more that entire Vegas system defense that was slowing Dallas down, because it's not like they were lighting up Vegas either. But I just think they certainly don't want to be playing 6-5 games against the Avs.
Definitely not.
Right? Another one where it's the one team rested and one team didn't thing. Panthers, Bruins, same
Yep.
deal. Obviously, each side's going to pick what they want, but I'm telling you, if you're Dallas, especially after being down 2-0, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, ride this momentum. Give
Yep.
me another game. Feed me another game. I
Agree.
think they're really happy about that. And with how dialed Otter is, what I was saying about Bob, I want Otter playing all the time. The Avs scoring machine
Dude.
is going to be tough to beat. I coming into this, I was like, I'm taking Dallas easily. It's Dallas's year. And just watching them the way they worked in that round was alarming.
Absolutely. I mean, they're out of control. I think the winner of the West is coming out of this side, one of these two teams. I really think they both look head and shoulders better than the other two. Maybe not head and shoulders, but these two teams look dangerous. I think this is going to be a bloodbath, just like the last one. I think it's going the distance, like we said.
It's easy to forget Dallas was in the Western Conference Finals last year.
It is very easy.
I feel like people are like, Dallas
it's very
is like,
easy
I'm
to
like,
forget
they were
that.
nasty last year. They were the 1 seed this year.
It's very easy to forget that. It's also easy to forget that Colorado had significant injury last year in the playoffs, which is why they lost in round 1.
Yep.
And here they are. They're healthy for the most part, and they're buzzing. And this is the Colorado team. I feel like a broken record from our episode last week, but this is the Colorado team that I saw in January that I said they're probably going to win the cup.
Yep.
Dallas looks so awesome. They're getting that important scoring from guys like Wyatt Johnston, and Marchman's playing great. Stank's playing great. It's just Colorado seems so fucking scary.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate to say it, because I love this Dallas team. I just don't know if anyone can handle Colorado if they're playing like this. So we'll see. We'll see early. Is Otter locked in, and are they going to slow down the scoring, or is it going to continue to be an absolute shit show of just like hats on the ice for Colorado?
Yeah. I am. This is as sick as Rangers Canes is. This is my every game series.
Yeah.
Every game.
This is your Alamo.
Will not be missing 1 second of this game. Of this series.
I can't not wait for this series.
Next one.
Let's close it up. Yep. Edmonton, Vancouver. We got a nice Canada battle.
Yep. I'm ready, I think.
These are our last.
This is going to be tough for you.
I don't think so.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
3, 2, 1. Oilers in 6. Yep. And that's obvious.
Vancouver, to me, is playing too slow to survive.
I can't stay awake for the games, Dan.
Stop it.
It's putting me to sleep.
It hasn't been boring. I just don't know what's going on. Why aren't you scoring?
Let's see, 13 goals in 6 games. And Sar's playing good, don't get me wrong. 13 goals in 6 games. Do you think that 13 goals in 6 games is going to get you past the fucking Oilers?
I do not, but I will tell you this, dude. You know what the series was in the regular season with these two teams?
No.
4-0 Canucks.
Really?
Canucks won 8-1 in the early days.
But those first 2 games are actually the first game of the season, I think.
4-3, 6-2, and 3-1.
Yeah, that 3-1 was pretty late.
Yep. So, they've got the edge in the regular season, but goalie situation makes this complicated.
Yeah.
The one we don't need to talk more about Shelov's versus Demko. Shelov is...
But I think he's a wild card. Like,
I
I
agree.
actually think if he
And
stays fucking dialed,
might be J.S.
like he could
Gagarin right
steal this whole series.
He might be J.S. Gagarin right now. We are, however, possibly staring down the barrel of a happy learned how to putt situation with the Oilers. I don't know.
What about last round makes you feel that way, though?
Well, that's why I said possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know if Edmonton's defense has figured it out, and so has Skinner, or if the Kings were just completely out of gas and out of chemistry.
Yeah, right.
And dude, you know what? I think Edmonton doesn't know that either.
And I don't even think... Yeah.
There's a world where Edmonton's going like this. We're on fire right now.
Yeah.
Our defense is clicking. And then they're going to face this Vancouver team, and Vancouver's
bit more
going to be
firepower.
like this. No, you are not clicking. We're going to fire pucks past Skinner.
I actually think that is exactly what's happening, but it's not going to happen until the Western Finals. Like, I think Vancouver's also going to score 1 goal a game, and the Oilers are like, we fucking did it.
Yeah.
And then they're going to play the Avs, and the Avs are going to score 12 goals a game. It'd be like,
not
what are
allowed to
you
say
doing here?
You have to say Dallas.
You're going to play Dallas, and they're going to say, we're scoring 12 goals a game. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible too. Obviously, we both have Edmonton here. It's hard for me. We don't need to drone on and on about it because I think it's pretty clear. The writing's on the wall. Forget the regular season series. Forget the goalie situation. Ultimately, what this comes down to is Vancouver is not playing well right now. They're not. I mean, you won, and a great job. You won in 6.
Yep.
But you're scoring 1 to 2 goals a fucking game, and you're going up against the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. Yep. I just don't think anyone can look at that matchup and go, Vancouver's just going to completely change their game. They're going to start scoring 4 goals a game. I just don't think that is going to happen, and that any sane person can confidently say that's for sure going to be the case here. So I think you have to go Oilers.
Biggest issue for me when I was looking at this, we said last time, Kings penalty kill, second best in the league. That'll really be different when they play the Oilers this time. And then the Oilers score on 70% of their power plays against the Kings.
Yeah.
Vancouver's penalty kill was atrocious, under 80%. Not atrocious, but like very not competitive, under 80%. And if the Oilers just rain down power play goals like a godly firestorm, then this series is over.
Yeah, it is. Like, that's that. So, to recap,
you got Panthers in 7. I got Panthers in 6.
I've got Rangers in 5. You've got Rangers in 6 or
7.
7. I've got Avs in 7. You've got Stars in 7. We've both got Oilers in 6.
That's exactly right.
So, here we go. Game 1 of Boston, Florida is tonight. By the time you guys are listening to this, it'll have already happened. But we are in it, baby. We are in the second round. Now, let's open up that mailbox, do a little bit of a mailbag, see what the questions that people have for us are. All right, babes, I got to talk to you about BetMGM. You know that we have an amazing partnership with BetMGM, so I'm talking to you right now. I'm looking right in your eyes. If you like online gambling, if you like getting down with some sports action, BetMGM is the no-brainer decision to get right now because it is, without a doubt, the best sports app in the world, and they're giving you $1,500 to play with. If you use promo code NETTERS right now, that's NETTERS, when you sign up for the BetMGM app, you get $1,500 to bet with that goes right in your account, and you can make all those bets. And here's the thing. I know you're afraid of losing. If you lose all of that up to that $1,500, you get it all back. Goes right back into your account for you to play with. So what are we doing here? We've got NHL Stanley Cup playoff action going on right now. There's games every single night. The action is unbelievable, and you need to start making some bets right now using BetMGM. It's an obvious move. Get on board. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico, or visit www.1800gambler.net in West Virginia. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligible requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
First question that we have this week is, if it's so hard to repeat in the NHL, did the Panthers making the Cup last year hurt their chances this year?
Great question.
Great question, because one of the biggest problems about how hard it is to repeat is the miles. It's not like everyone's got a target on your back just because you're the Cup champs. Certainly that's a thing too, but it's more like you had a really short summer. Usually you were really successful, but some people got hurt, and you're really successful, which means people want more money and different contracts. It's just hard to keep the band together and then run it right back on such a short turnaround.
No doubt about it. I think the amount of games played is I think the number one reason. My answer is kind of complicated because it's almost conflicting ideas going against each other. I personally think
I'm gonna look up.
There
see
are
if I can look something up while you're doing this.
There are certain types of guys in the league. Nathan McKinnon is one of them. We talked about this with Ross Colton when he came on the pod. There are certain guys who win, and then they don't rest on their laurels. In fact, the opposite happens, and they go, I need to win again. You've tasted the sweet nectar of victory, and you now can't live without it. There are definitely guys like that. Again, I think McKinnon is one of them. Whether it be something you acknowledge or not, there are other people, and this does not say anything bad about your compete level or the competitor you are, the type of person that you are, who in the backs of their mind, or maybe the fronts of their mind, after winning, have an attitude of, if I lose, it's okay, because I just won. I think that's why a lot of teams who win the cup then lose in the first round the next year. You mentioned it earlier on this pod.
Yep.
So with the Panthers, I think too many of them are in these playoffs going, we're even better this year, which I believe is true.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's buzzing. The team is healthy. And we lost last year. And I think a lot of them feel we lost last year because we were hurt. Kachuk went out. Other guys were battling serious injuries. And I think that they will go, I don't give a fuck that we played into June last year. We got close and we didn't get it. That Panthers team has never won a Stanley Cup. They don't care at all about games played, so I don't think it's an issue for them.
Last time it happened, 2008, the Detroit Red Wings beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Next year, the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Wings, but they win the cup.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling back pretty far, and I'm not seeing that happening very often. So I think it's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Probably damn near just as hard as repeating for everything you just said. I just love the fucking, maybe this is my personality as an athlete, but I love the getting that close and not getting it drives me so much harder because it was right there that I'm like, yo, we have to fucking remedy this, especially this group right now. We're not going to be together soon.
Yeah.
Go.
I agree, and I think we've seen microcosm examples of frustrating losses in the first round. Last year, the Rangers choked, lost to the Devils, and this year they went, fuck no, and swept the Caps. I think the Bruins blew a 3-1 lead last year to Florida. They were in a 3-run situation. They were about to blow this year, and they're like, we will not let that happen.
Yep.
I think there is a fuel to losing that overcomes any tiredness.
Yep. Second question. If the Stars beat the Avs, are we looking at the beginning of a Stars dynasty?
Oh, I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, I listen. I think dynasties are so difficult these
Yep.
days. I mean, we had a Pittsburgh one, and then I think we had a Tampa one, and
Hawks.
well, yes, the most recent. I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
you know, Pittsburgh's a little more recent
Yeah.
than the Hawks. I would say. What's tough about that is, on the one hand, I said earlier that the time is now for Dallas, and they have taken a huge first step in beating Vegas. So they definitely want it, and they can smell it for sure. They've got look at how goddamn good their team is and how young their
Yep.
studs are. The fact that they're not riding Ben and Sagan and Pavelski into this. In fact, those guys are playing second, third line shit.
Got
here.
people at every level.
Exactly.
You know, I'm like, oh God.
So
Perfect
they've got
team construction.
They've got it. They've got the pieces to be a dynasty. The problem with that is the Avs are in the middle of we can be a dynasty as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Avs are going, we won the cup. We got some injuries, lost in the first round last year, but we're trying to win the cup. If the Avs go to the cup, win the cup this year, they'll have 2 and 3. So you're battling Vegas,
Who
is
could just
also-
win next year? You know.
and
Yep.
then they've got 2 and 3.
Yep.
And that'll be what, their fucking third cup in 8 years, to a cup at least.
Yep.
So you're battling a lot of could be dynasties on the West. So yes is the answer. And like I said, if they beat Colorado, they're beating whoever they play in Edmonton, Vancouver, in my opinion. And then could easily win a cup. So they're taking the right strides, and that step past Vegas is the necessary first one.
The teams that look very scary, and this can change in one huge free agent signing, one big trade, but Vegas, you said them, Vegas, Colorado, Florida still. But, you know, Boston, ton of cap space, but who knows? Tampa's not going anywhere, but who knows? A couple up-and-coming teams, the Canucks, Rangers, you know. But from straight-up roster construction alone, I say yes. This is that Dallas team. If I had to pick anyone, that Dallas team is the one that I would say is about to go on a sustained run of dominance is harsh, but just great success.
Yeah, no doubt.
Next question. Why are the Rangers underdogs?
This is funny. We got a lot of this in the Hockey Talk on Sunday. There are people being like, people disrespecting the Rangers. Everyone's underrated. No one believes. Shut the fuck up. That is not happening.
Yep.
And so many people, so many pundits have picked the Rangers to win the cup. So fans, calm down. No one is underrating the Rangers. I will agree and say I don't understand how they are dogs in the Vegas odds. That is fucking crazy to me.
Dude,
it's like the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Mini rant right here. I've been banging the drum hard, as you all know, that the Rangers, I felt like their not the players, but the fans and people in media were looking past the Canes too easily. Everyone's talking about Rangers, Panthers, Eastern Conference Finals, Rangers in the cup. I was like, you got a really tough series here. Everybody calm down. Yeah. That being said, right before the series started, I feel like it flipped so 180, and everyone's like all over the Canes, and I'm like, oh no, too far. It was
way too far.
And dude, it is the fucking nerds, bro. It's the Moneyball nerds.
They're going, Jake Gensel's on the team. The power play is so good right now. Freddie Anderson is buzzing. He's been better this stretch than he has been all season, than he has been in 2 years. Shut.
And the shot, there was like a shot total article I saw on like the power play. I reread it earlier, the power play PK analytics. I'm like, yo, dude, watch the game. And I don't even mean game one. I'm just saying, like, watch them. And I am the poster boy of the Canes are really fucking good. I think it's going to be a hard series. Yeah. But it is crazy to me how hard it swung with the odds specifically. That they're like, the Canes are heavy favorites. Yeah. And in what universe are they heavy favorites against the President's Trophy team from their own division? It's not like they weren't playing each other. It makes no fucking sense.
Totally. So to answer your question, they are dogs and it's stupid. And it's the stat analytic nerds is why. But they are not being overlooked. So the people who think because they're dogs, it makes people be like this, no one believes in the Rangers, fucking shut up with that narrative because it's not true at all. Everyone believes in the Rangers. They're fucking insanely good and they're going to win the cup. But they are dogs and it is moronic. It is just classic over analytics. That's just so dumb. And honestly, is going to be why they win this series because it's like Vegas is like, they're dogs. And I'm like, oh.
And the Rangers get to look at that on the bulletin board and they're like, oh, we're dogs, pal.
You're dead. Yeah.
Boom.
So that's why. It's silly. All right. Great questions. Love the mailbag. Let's wrap this episode up with some saucy predictions. Okay, here we go. We're not doing chicken today. We're doing pretzels today because...
Hey, we forgot to get chicken. So we put in super hot sauce on some pretzel chips. Last week, I said that Hellebuck would give up 1 goal or less in Game 5. He gave up 1,500 goals.
Yeah.
So I have lost.
You lost quick. I said that the Preds would force a Game 7. They were so close.
They should have.
But they did not. So we're both eating. Here we go. Hot sauce doused pretzels.
It's like the pretzel didn't absorb it at all. It's just in my mouth now. Look, the chicken soaks it up. This is terrible.
Yeah. That one was like... that one was like just pouring it right on my tongue. So that...
Let me go.
Fast. Okay, you got one? I got one too.
All four series will be 1-1.
Wow. Is the schedule like that for about this time next week? It'll be like that?
We'll know. We'll know.
I mean, we'll know either way.
Yep.
Okay. By this time next week, one goalie will have a shutout.
One?
Yeah. People score in playoffs. That's we've had what, like 2-3 shutouts all playoffs?
One?
Yeah. There's not been a lot of shutouts. Fuck you.
Fine.
Okay.
Don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything. That's it for us this week at the MGNers podcast. We are in round 2, baby. We got the saucy predictions set. Let's get cracking. And until then,
skate hard, baby.
Skate hard.